It's Ronnie, and welcome to May I Scraplift You, which is hosted by Crystal Barrett, who is Pineapple Papers here on YouTube. And today I am scraplifting Suzanna Lee, and this is the layout that she did. And she did make a sketch for it, so I'm going to go ahead and show the sketch. I seen the layout first and then I saw the sketch and it was on International Scrapbooking Day. So I thought I'd make a layout. So the first part of my layout isn't recorded. I am so sorry about that, but I decided that I was going to go ahead and record it, so I'm a little late on deciding it. But at least it was just the background. I went ahead and pulled out everything I was using. It shows two photos on her sketch, and my photo is the same photo twice, only one's cropped. But yeah, to do the sketch with. But I planned on doing that all along anyway, to point out something on it. And I pulled out my zoo iris container. So it has several different ones. It's like Echo Park and Photo Play and a paper pad. And I used scraps to go in the center. And then it showed, like on her layout, it's got a background thing. I went ahead and used white paper, but I used that Heidi Swap stencil and went ahead and inked it. And then I added my scrap pieces of paper. I did have to cut a couple down to get them to work right. In fact, I'm going to show a piece of that bottom left one in a minute. I think I'll go ahead and use it. I think that's what I do. It's been a while since I did this because, International Scrap Day was a while back. But since it was recorded, I knew I could sit there till I decided I was going to go ahead and do some editing. I did do fussy cutting. I couldn't sit really, really long because this was after my surgery. And so I told myself I wasn't going to do a bunch of die cutting. Well, I did fussy cut because I could do that in the recliner and not have to sit straight up in a kind of cramped area. There's that scrap that I cut off the other one. But, I got that empty spot. I think I'm going to go ahead and use it. Now, I used the pink Flamingo because there is pink in the photo. It wasn't really that pink, but when I printed it, it printed brighter than it looked like in the digital part. However, I used that pink anyway. I already thought of it, so I thought I'm going to go ahead and use it. And I wanted this little ephemera piece there. It says, "Don't feed the animals," but I had rather have a little animal than some guy in a pair of shorts looking like he was some safari guy. And so I covered it up with that cute little monkey there. And see these three banners? I thought I think I need something over there, and I thought I was going to put them on there and just leave them. However, I'm going to keep looking at them, and I'm going to add to them before the end of the layout. Like I said, I fussy cut, and some of all those little striped looking leaves, they were already fussy cut and a little tiny, and since they're tiny, they fit pretty good. But there's a lot of them. I still have plenty. Leaves, I guess I sat and cut them all one day, but they were already fussy cut out, and I thought I'm going to use them on there. And then there was a couple of those, I think they're monster leaves, and neither one's the same piece of cardstock, but I used them both anyway. So I used them on here because, like I told myself, I wasn't going to die cut. Uh, but I do end up die cutting before the month is out. um, I am just tucking them around this beautiful little spray here. I believe it was a sticker, and I cut the white part off. And I think the one up there at the top is too. I think they're both stickers, if I remember correctly. But I'm cutting this leaf apart. I'm not using the whole thing. Oh, I did find another leaf too. and I'm going to use it on there. But since there wasn't a goat, I used that thing that kind of looks like a goat that's laying over there. It had a foreign name or something, something that is not in the United States. So it wasn't something I've really heard of that much. I think I might have heard of it a couple of times because it sounded kind of familiar. But I fussy cut it out of a 3x4 card on the paper pad. And it'll work for a goat. But if you look at the photos and see my son's pointing, my Hope has a backpack on, and it has like a leash thing so she can't get away from them. Because, they had like 7 kids with them because they have a house full. Well, I guess it's 6 back then because Malachi wasn't born yet. And that goat is eating her backpack. It's got like from one of those dinosaurs with the spikes, is what it looks like. And it's got its mouth on it, and my son is pointing at it. So that's why I wanted the Don't Feed the Animal. So that's actually my title. Not a day at the zoo, but I wanted to use that anyway, just to fill in that area between the 2 papers there, and put in my flowers and everything and have it kind of filled there instead of separated. I don't think you can actually tell it's 2 papers other than the patterns are completely different. But anyway, I'm filling that in, and here's my 3rd piece of pink. I did put that little pink butterfly over there on the banners. However, like I said, I will put more. And I think the other pieces was like right at the end of the video. But I have the 3 pieces of pink on there to go with the pink on her backpack, just because I was wanting an accent color that was different. And I thought, well, there is pink in the photos. But I am putting, here's my substitute goat. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of tuck it in over there. And I could have not fussy cut the white. That was a 3x4 card. I could have not fussy cut around it on the back end since I'm covering it up, but I did not know that when I was doing it. So, yeah, I fussy cut the whole thing. And I am using, I'm digging through the leaves trying to decide what color. Oh, I seen this bird. I was looking through the leaves, I am sure, but I seen this bird and I wanted to make sure I used it. There was a whole sheet in the paper pad full of birds, and they were all gorgeous. And so I wanted to use a couple of them on there, and I used them at the top of the layout, since they're usually up in trees or flying around. Oh, and there I'm pointing out my 3 things of pink, and I was checking to make sure nothing was going to fall off because, using that adhesive tape, there's always those little tiny pieces. And I have a tendency to find them when I'm taking the photo. Well, I already take the photo and happen to look at the photo on my camera and notice a piece on there. So I was just kind of bouncing them off. Let's see. Oh, I was trying to find what to use there, and I'm going to use a couple of leaves, but then that one little banner is going to look empty. So I went to the sticker page to look, and I seen these cutest little footprints. They do not look like a goat's footprints. However, I used them anyway, but they were like shiny white. And I thought, man, they're footprints. They should have a little dirt. So I used my ink and made it a little bit browner. But that was super quick since, I did the background to start with. I changed out that back piece 3 or 4 times before I finally decided on that brown because I wanted to make sure it was a lighter tone. Tone. That it wasn't so bright. and because a lot of this is one of the paper pad papers that I used in the background. But there's my Don't Feed the Animals. And there's that little cluster that I couldn't just leave as 3 banners. And I think some of my ink rubbed off on the feet just a little bit because, you know, it is kind of shiny. But there is still a little on there. I'm looking at it right now, but it's not as dark as it was to start with. There's one of those gorgeous birds. I don't think I showed the other one close up. And there's my supposed goat substitution. And there's the zoo venture. And yeah, day at the zoo. This was in, of course, the petting zoo. And I got quite a few pictures from there to scrap. And this one's going to go in hopes, because I am sure she does not remember that, as little as she was. And she will love to see this the next time she comes over. But yeah, I am hoping to do quite a few videos in June for the 30 days of sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. And I do have, I think, one more for this month that I did International Scrapbooking Day. So tomorrow, the next day. But I want to thank you all so very, very much for still being subscribed to me. I did lose about a dozen subscribers while I was gone, but all the rest of you are still here, and I want to thank you all for all of you that checked on me to see how I was doing. But I hope y'all have a happy scrappy week. Have fun with the hop, and there is a playlist down below. Bye.